Remember when Gough Whitlam said, "Men and women of Australia"? He wouldn't get away with that now, would he? Let me show you clear evidence of a world that has lost its way. You know, we've been to the moon, we've split the atom, we've cured some cancers, we can fly at twice the speed of sound, we can perform life-saving operations even on babies before they're born. But we are flummoxed by the most basic question of human biology. Have a listen to Liberal Senator Alex Antic at a Senate hearing yesterday.
Can someone please provide me with a definition of what a woman is? Department of Health. Definition of a man, definition of a woman. Anyone?
It's pretty basic.
It's basic stuff. Professor Murphy.
I think there are a variety of definitions, and I think
just a simple one.
Perhaps to give a more fulsome answer, we should take that on notice.
You're going to take on notice the question of what a woman is.
No, well, there are a variety. It's a very contested space.
Wow, now that was Professor Brendan Murphy, who was formerly the nation's chief medical officer. Now he heads up the Department of Health, and he has to take that question on notice, apparently. The bureaucrats and doctors, I expect, will get back to the Senate with an answer about what constitutes a woman and what constitutes a man. I'm guessing that penises and vaginas, maybe ovaries and testicles, perhaps X chromosomes and Y chromosomes, they might have something to do with it. But as they say, I'm not a medical expert, so don't take my word for it. This pathetic dancing around biological facts is a worldwide trend, as we saw in Washington recently during the Supreme Court confirmation hearings.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
The meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
She's not a biologist, so she can't answer that question, hey? This is the absurdity of the modern condition, where the virtue signalling and self-regard of the media political class is so important to them that they would rather deny basic biology than risk being called out as transphobic. What's common sense to the mainstream becomes an act of courage for a politician to even utter. Here's the UK Prime Minister.
I don't think that biological males should be competing in female sporting events, and you know, maybe that's a controversial thing to say, but it just seems to me to be sensible. And I also happen to think that women should have spaces which are, whether it's in hospitals or prisons or change rooms or wherever, which are dedicated to women. That's as far as my thinking has developed on this issue.
Yeah, well, that is a sensible point of view, and that's as far as his thinking needs to develop. Because knowing the difference between a man and a woman and having the balls to be straightforward about it, if you'll pardon the pun, has got nothing to do with being anti-trans or transphobic or being anything but empathetic and diligent about ensuring that trans people get the care and rights that they deserve. But the twisted logic, the denial of reality in all this is embarrassing and frankly shows you just how enfeebled the Western world has become. Let's have a look at Senator Antic again. This time he's questioning the Workplace Gender Equality Agency. Its reason for existence is gender. But listen to this.
Are you able to provide me with a definition of what a woman is?
So we use the definition that is generally used across all aspects of government that the ABS uses, and as I say, other forms of government. We let the companies. We don't define it ourselves in the Act, and we don't define it in relation to companies filling out the forms. We let the generally acceptable definition that companies choose to use be the basis of how they report to us.
And what's that definition?
So, as I say, it's not defined in our Act.
I mean, the Act has a specific statutory definition. A woman means a member of the female sex, irrespective of age. The Oxford Dictionary actually defines female as a person of the sex that can bear offspring, a woman or a girl. Does that not... it seems like we're having trouble defining exactly what a woman is for the purpose of the...
Well, I don't think... No companies actually ask us to help them defining women and men and how they capture that information. So it's not something that we have had difficulty in terms of reporting along the generally acceptable definitions.
Man, the generally acceptable definitions that the agency dares not mention, espouse, recite, or even seemingly recognise. Why are they so scared about speaking basic sense? Since when did it become a revolutionary act to say that men have dangly bits and women don't? Senator Antic has been wreaking havoc with his simple question directed at various departments where there are special programs and funding directed towards women, such as the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Given the amount of gender-based programs there are, I would like to know whether or not the department can and does have a definition for a woman.
Senator, I'll ask one of the other officers to come to the table. I think we would stick with the Public Service Commission, but I'm not sure that I hadn't heard that question before, so I will ask if there's anyone else who can assist. But I don't think I've got that at the moment.
Senator Antic, do we have a definition of woman? In relation to... No, I don't think we do.
I don't think we do. I hope they don't now set up a task force to draft a definition of this. Since when did the most senior medical officials in the country need to seek advice on such matters?
It's a very contested space at the moment, Senator.
It's not just a woman who's born a woman.
But there are definitions in terms of how people identify themselves. So we're happy to provide our working definition on those.
One of the, I've only been here 2 years. That's the best thing I've seen thus far. Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness me. I wish it was just sport, but it's deeply troubling, isn't it? I've said it before, and the evidence is mounting. We seem to have reached peak evolution, and the world is now getting dumber by the year.